This episode of Ties That Help is brought to you by Jack Threads. What's up, guys? Apple just wrapped up their March 7th event where they announced some awesome new stuff. In this video, I'm going to be doing a full recap telling you everything they talked about and announced at the event. We're not going to start with the products yet. Let's jump into some apps that they announced. First off is iPhoto for iOS devices. It is $5 and it's available today. It's going to offer a way for you to browse all of your pictures and photos and stuff like that. And it also has a lot of ways to edit them. They added some awesome effects and brushes and filters, all kinds of stuff like that, so you can really have a full photo editor on the go on your iPad or your iPhone. Also, they announced some updates to iMovie. There's not too much in it. I did see that it had a new icon, and they said some nicer ways to cut your clips, so that's nice, I guess, and that's also available today. And of course, if you had it, you automatically get it for free. GarageBand and iWork got some updates. GarageBand having the most. I'm not going to really go over those just because it's just GarageBand, but you can check it out. I'll have a link down below to my site. But iWork and GarageBand updates are also available today, and if you had those, it is also free already. They also announced iOS 5.1, which is available today to download. It actually just came available right now, but a ton of people's trying to download it, so if you try to download it right now, you may not be able to. But really, the only new feature they announced in it is Siri support for Japanese, which is nice, but I would expect more in 5.1. Maybe there is some new features that they haven't told us about, but we'll have to wait and see to find out. And if there is, of course, I will do a video. So that's pretty much the apps they announced, and they did demo some games and stuff like that. I'm not going to cover those, but they did announce some new products. First off, the Apple TV. There's an update. No, that's not the big screened Apple TV that we're all waiting for. It's actually just an update to the little set-top box that they have. So the new Apple TV supports 1080p video streaming, and it also includes Netflix. I've seen somebody post a little news story about that. It has a new user interface, which looks really nice, and they did say the interface itself is also in 1080p, so that's nice. And it has some more iCloud support for iTunes playlists and photos, stuff like that. So it's good to get more iCloud integration with that, as well as the ability to get third-party apps easier. They didn't really talk much about that, but maybe that would mean more apps coming to the Apple TV, and maybe they'll even open up an app store for it. That'd be nice. So that's going to be available next week, March 16th, and it's available to pre-order today for $99. So it's the same price as the previous Apple TV. They didn't really call this the Apple TV 3 because it is the third generation of the Apple TV. They just called it the Apple TV, and they didn't really talk about specs of the Apple TV. So I'm guessing they did upgrade some stuff since they're upgrading it to 1080p and they're calling it a new device. But I, of course, will be getting it if there is spec upgrades and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that, and let me know what you think about the Apple TV. Now, next up, the thing you guys have all been waiting for, the new iPad. Yes, and it's not called the iPad 3 or the iPad HD. It's just called the new iPad, or you can just call it iPad. I don't know why they did this, but it actually does make sense why I keep going up in numbers every time they release a new device. Maybe the next iPhone will be called just the iPhone or the new iPhone. Alright, so it seems like the rumors were pretty spot on this time. It's actually surprising. I did not think we were going to get all this stuff. It is available in black and white. It is 9.4 millimeters thin, so it is actually a little bit thicker, I think, and it weighs 1.4 pounds, so it is a little bit heavier. So yeah, it looks like pretty much the same design we've been hearing, a little bit more of a taper design. Of course, we'll get more looks at it soon. Now, as far as graphics, it does have the Retina display, so obviously that's going to look amazing. It has a resolution of 2048 by 1536, which is 3.1 million pixels. That's insane. 264 ppi, has 40% better color saturation than before on the previous iPad. It has quad-core graphics, which they didn't say quad-core, but it does have quad-core graphics, so kind of confused a little bit on that. But either way, the graphics are going to look amazing on this thing. And it does have the A5X processor. So they didn't say that it's quad-core or not. They just said that it is quad-core graphics. So maybe that means quad-core, maybe it doesn't. Maybe people will clarify that. I'm a little bit confused on it. So yeah, like the new iPad graphics look great. Of course, they're going to be updating all the stock apps for the iPad, or for the new one. Well, I guess I can just say for the iPad. But yeah, they're going to be updating all the iPad apps and stuff like that. And of course, all the apps that are in the App Store, developers will be updating for that. And they say it's on par with console quality graphics like the Xbox and PS3. We'll have to see. But this is actually better than most HD TVs, so that's pretty amazing. They also updated the camera in the iPad 3. It is a 5 megapixel camera with a backside illuminated sensor on the back. Now, this is actually the back-facing camera, not the front-facing camera. They didn't talk about it, so I'm guessing it didn't get an update and it's still VGA. The back one has an IR filter, ISP built into the A5X processor, which I have no idea what that means. Maybe some of you photo experts out there do. Auto exposure, autofocus, white balance, face detection, 1080p video recording, and video stabilization. So awesome, they added a better camera to the iPad. I keep wanting to call it the iPad 3. Anyways, it's awesome they added a better camera, and I'm sure this will take some nice pictures. Alright, and then they also added voice dictation to the new iPad, but they didn't mention Siri. So if you don't know what voice dictation is, that's basically where you can hit the little button, you can speak, and it translates it into text. So for some reason, Siri hasn't came on to the new iPad, or they didn't talk about it at least. Maybe that will come in a future iOS 6 update, but as of right now, they did not mention Siri coming to the new iPad, but they did say voice dictation, which is still nice, but it sucks they didn't add Siri. But I think it will come, because it's definitely capable of handling Siri. Also, another new big feature on the iPad is 4G LTE. Yes, and it's going to be on Verizon and AT&T, so this is super exciting. Also, it's like a worldwide iPad, so you can use this in other carriers in the world. I know a lot of carriers in other countries don't have 4G yet. They're still working on 3G, but either way, you will have it when it's available. So yeah, and you can also turn it into a 4G hotspot if you want to, if the carrier supports it, of course. Now, I'm confused a little bit on this because I don't know all the technical terms or whatever, but it says new iPad has 21 megabytes per second on HPSA+, which I get that, but DC-HSDPA at 42 megabytes per second, so I don't know what the DC stuff is, but that's nice. And then LTE is taking the cake at 73 megabytes a second. That's a freaking lot. Yeah. Now, battery on the new iPad is going to be pretty much the same as the iPad 2, 10 hours of battery life. If you're using 4G, they say it gets 9 hours, which we'll have to see if that's actually the case once I get it, of course. Pricing, $499 for the 16 gigabyte iPad, $599 for the 32, and then $699 for the 64 gig. And of course, they will have the 4G model for a little bit more, $629 for 16, $729 for 32, and $829 for the 64. So they do have the two models just like they did. There's no 3G model anymore. It's just 4G model. Pre-ordering starts today, so you can go ahead and go on Apple's website. I've been trying to and pre-order your iPad. Right now, their site's crashing and down and saying we'll be back soon. So be patient on that, and it will be available on March 16th in US, Canada, UK, France, Germany, Switzerland, and Japan, and then more countries soon, I think later this month. Yeah, March 23rd. So yeah, and then also the iPad 2 is getting some price drops of $100. It's going to be $400 for the 16 gig Wi-Fi model, and then yeah, that's pretty nice. So that's pretty much all they announced. What do you guys think about the new iPad? I think it is a solid upgrade. I think they pretty much did everything that all the rumors are saying. So it's actually good. I don't feel like this is a letdown. What do you guys think about the new iPad? Will you be getting it? Do you have the iPad 1 or iPad 2 and expect to upgrade to it? Let me know what you think. I'm excited, and also will you be getting the new Apple TV? I'll of course be getting both and doing videos on both for you. Let me know if you want to see any specific things on the new iPad or the Apple TV, and I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for more videos coming, and if you enjoyed this, click the like button down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Let's take one last look at our sponsor, Jack Threads. Only suckers pay full price. If you love alternative apparel brands like Kid Robot, Hurley, and Stussy but hate wasting all your cash on them, listen up. You can score these premium brands at up to 80% off every day. There's a new invite-only club just for guys called Jack Threads, serving up street, skate, and surfwear at prices that will melt your brain. Oh, and did I mention it's free to join? If you want to sign up, go to jackthreads.com/Ty and you'll instantly start saving money on all this cool stuff without having to leave your house.